Hello everybody, how are you doing? I hope that you're doing fine. Welcome to a new video in which we are going to learn a little bit more about this marvelous language which is English. This is Mr. David and I'm here to provide you with a new listening comprehension activity. Don't forget that you have 5 questions in the description of the video and you can answer them after watching this video, obviously. I recommend you to watch the video first without subtitles. Let's see how much you can get from your ears, okay? From listening. And if you have a lot of difficulties, you don't understand, I speak very fast for you, maybe you can turn on the subtitles and that's going to be easier for you. But the idea is to put that into practice, okay? Nice. I want to remind you that this video is sponsored by Forget Me Not Academy, in which you can learn any language you can imagine, and also you have a plan to go to the country, to the corresponding country that you are learning the language. For example, if you are learning French, you go to France. If you are learning English, you go to the United Kingdom, and etc. So it's a very great opportunity, and I hope that you can take that chance. So let's see. Let's start with the video, okay? Today I want to speak about a little bit of myself. I don't know if you reckon that I am a martial artist as well. Okay, so I'm an English teacher, but I have a long story with martial arts. I'm a martial arts practitioner for a very long time, and now I'm going to explain you how everything started and how everything continued and how am I doing in the recent days. Okay, so there's a story before I started karate. Actually, I have an older sister. She's 6 years older than me, and she started karate because a friend of hers started going to karate as well. So my parents were really concerned about making their children to do some physical activity, apart from going to school and etc., to do some physical activity so we can disconnect. So my sister, well, didn't know what to do. Actually, my parents didn't know what activity they could sign us in, and well, there was this girl, this friend of my sister's, who started karate and proposed my sister to go with her. So curiously, they started doing karate together, and that friend of hers signed off. So she decided to leave. But my sister wanted to continue because she fell in love with the sport, practically. So when I was born, I used to see my sister with the kimono, which is the uniform they wear to do karate. And for me, it was like the normal thing to do, okay? So we go to school in the morning and then we go to karate in the evenings. So that was the normal thing, you know? I was born with that image. So when I came of age, okay, I was around 5 years old, is when I started karate myself. I was very happy because my best friend in that time was also going to karate, but well, later that boy, that friend of mine, decided to leave, and I started with some ups and downs. Okay, so on one hand, I wanted to stay, I liked the sport, but on the other hand, for me it was kind of boring, okay? But I remember that my family used to tempt me to continue, okay, used to convince me by referring to a very good martial artist actor that I liked back in the day, which was, who was Jean-Claude Van Damme. Okay, Jean-Claude Van Damme, the muscles of Brussels, okay, so he's from Brussels. But he became famous in that time, more or less, and I used to enjoy so much his movies, his films, okay? And especially there is one that was really interesting for me in that time, that was Time Cop, a very good film of his. But well, I gotta say that, well, there are so many others that I liked. And then my family used to tell me, okay, you're going to quit karate, but you know, you can become an actor when you are old, like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Okay, look at him, he became this famous because of karate, because he practiced karate and etc. Okay, so that's the way they convinced me and I continued. But then time passed and I became older, and when I was I don't remember, I was in 4th grade. We moved, okay, we moved to another city and we had to find another gym. Okay, so in that other gym I have that new sensei whose name is Rafa, and he's a really good karate practitioner. He's a very good sensei, a very good teacher, I gotta say. But when it came to the point to get my black belt, okay, I was brown belt. I continued with him. I was maybe orange belt or maybe green, I don't remember. But I continued until brown belt, okay? That was the previous one to get the black belt. And I remember that well because I spent 4 years being brown belt, and I consider myself that I was ready to get the black belt, to pass the test. But the problem is that it came in an age that was kind of difficult for everybody, okay? So I was 16 years old when I started asking for the black belt, then 17, then 18, and that sensei always told me that I was not ready. I was not ready to do that. For me, it was quite disappointing because I saw some of my classmates in that, karate mates, and I saw that some of them were not ready as well. However, they had the chance to get the black belt. So I was like, okay, so they are ready, and I feel that they don't have the technique. Okay, so they have the movement, but it's not very practical, and they get the black belt, they are ready, but I am not ready. I remember that in that time is when I started, taking care of my social life as well. Until that time, until that moment, I have very little friends because I couldn't go out. My mom was very overprotective. So I couldn't go out at night, even though I didn't have to ask my parents to pick me up. I could go walking home. That was worse for her, okay? So she was really afraid of something happening to me or whatever. So when I was 16 is when I started going out. So yes, I started skipping some lessons, especially the Friday lessons that were more related to the bow staff. Okay, the bow staff is the main weapon for karate. Okay, so the bow staff. There is also a bokken, which is a wooden sword. Okay, which is very used in Aikido or in what was it? Well, I was going to say Bushido, but no, it's not Bushido. Well, there is another martial arts. Kendo, okay, Kendo, okay, it's also very used in Kendo, but in karate, the main weapon that we normally work with is the bow staff. So the problem is that I started skipping some lessons on Fridays, but I tried to compensate by training around 3 or 4 hours on Saturdays, but on my own, okay? And I was practicing so hard. I asked some of my mates to come with me, to teach me, to train me. And every time I was with my sensei, I was all the time like, look at me. Is it okay? Do I have to correct something? Whatever. I was really interested in getting my black belt. But sadly, he thought that I was not ready. Later I discovered why, and I will tell you why he decided to tell me that I was not ready for the black belt. So, well, finally I grew tired of karate and not having my black belt, but because for me it was really important. But this person prevented me from getting it. So I was like, okay, I don't want this anymore. I was also very disappointed about karate, or at least the way I practiced or the way my gym practiced it, because I had other friends who practiced other things like kickboxing or judo or whatever. And every time we practiced together, I used to lose the combats. So I was always the loser. I was never ready. I don't know. So I was not combat ready. So I was ready to do the katas, the form, everything was correct. But when it comes to fighting, I was not ready. I discovered that I was losing my time. I was wasting my time. So there was a gym very near this other gym, and they were very famous because they had a competition team, and they used to go to national and international competitions, and they were very famous in the place. And I decided to look at it, and it was not karate, it was Wing Chun. Okay, so if you don't know Wing Chun, it's a kind of kung fu. Okay, but this one I really liked because it was very practical. So in very little time I catch up with so much knowledge and I enjoyed so much that I started watching videos, trying to find other YouTubers who practice and whatever. I putting into practice those techniques in the dojo and also with my other friends, and I became the winner. Okay, so I started being the winner of the combats I used to have with my friends, okay, to practice, but it was completely different. So the vision of the combat was completely different. So that's why I fell in love so much with the Wing Chun. So I said, okay, so let's get the black belt in Wing Chun, okay? So, well, time came, I asked the main teacher, the main, well, we say the Shifu, okay, the Shifu. So in karate it's sensei, and in the Wing Chun or in everything that is Chinese is Shifu, okay? So I asked the Shifu to join the competition team, and I competed, but only twice here in Andalusia, and I won certain trophies, not so much, but well, and I really enjoyed practicing it. And I remember that the trainings were so hard. So the normal trainings were Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but the competition team had to go also on Tuesdays, on Thursdays, and also Saturdays, and sometimes Sundays. And that was what I was looking for. But there was a problem. Okay, when I was in my blue belt, okay, so when I got the blue belt, the next belt was to be the brown belt. Then we have another one, so it's not to the black, it's to the violet, and then after the violet you have the black. So in this new stuff, in this gym, okay? So there was a problem. And the monitors, the teachers in there, had a fight with the Shifu, okay? So they had a very strong argument about how things should be in the school and etc. And well, they decided to leave. So all the monitors, all with no exceptions, left the school. So left the Wing Chun school. And I was like, okay. So they could compensate with other old students they had and etc. But it was not the same. So well, I decided to investigate, and one of these monitors started practicing with other Shifu, okay, so following another person who was more methodic, and I had to say that it was very good. And the Wing Chun has another vision, has another way, okay, it's not, it's the same martial art, but a different way to practice it. And that Shifu is very famous, it's called Salvador Sanchez, and his association is Tao's Academy, okay, so it's the Art of War Society or system or something like that. I don't remember what the S stands for, but it's Tao's, and it's very interesting. Very cheap if you compare this Shifu with other Shifus. Okay, so if you see other Shifus giving courses and etc., this one is very cheap and very productive. And in Tao's, it was that was very good because it tries to combine 3 martial arts. And it's very useful to combine these 3 because Wing Chun is very good when you are standing up, but when you are knocked down, okay, and you have to defend on the ground, it's very hard. There's no very clear technique of Wing Chun on the ground. So the Tao's Academy decided to combine Wing Chun, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Eskrima concepts. Eskrima concepts is something with short sticks. And that's very practical because you can use anything that is handy, okay? So that is similar to a stick, so you can use the techniques, and that's good. So I said, okay, so let's start again. So with my blue belt, I put the blue belt in a drawer, and I decided to follow one of these monitors who left and started following this Salvador Sanchez. Okay, sadly I haven't met Salvador Sanchez in person, although I had so many opportunities. I couldn't, okay, because of money, because of time, or whatever. Okay, so I was not in a very good time in that moment. And well, I continued practicing until more or less 2 years ago. Okay, I continued to practice these 2 recent years. But I didn't go to the gym because I was afraid of the COVID, okay, of the coronavirus thing. And I was afraid of getting infected, but I was more concerned about infecting my children or my wife or my family. So I was really afraid of this. So now that everything is a little bit calmer, okay, so that everything calms down now, that we can take off the masks and whatever. So maybe I will go back to practicing, but I am not passing the tests. I mean, if you want to pass the test now, the way you upgrade in this system now is not with the belts, it's with grades. Okay, so you have grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, which is similar to the white belt, yellow belt, orange, green. Okay, so with all those belts. And more or less the same system, the same number, but starting again from scratch. You know, the problem is that every time you have to pass a test, you have to pay for the test, and I feel it's fair, okay, to pay for the test. But doing it again from scratch for a third time, because of a situation that it was not mine, okay, it was not my fault, okay, I was following the rules, but the situation just broke down. So, well, I decided to continue practicing, but I'm not getting tests. So I don't have a level on this new system. I don't have a certificated level. I just practice. I want to think that I'm not the best, but I'm one of the good ones to practice with, and I like working with people, and I like teaching them as well. As I'm a teacher myself professionally, I tend to explain, no, you have to do the technique like this, you have to do it like that. And the vision of Salvador Sanchez is great. Okay, I have to say that I really admire this man, and I really admire the man following him. Okay, so if you are interested in the men who are following this guy and started their own academies, their own dojos, so one is called Miguel Molina. You can find Wing Chun Al Jarafe or something like that on Facebook. I will put the things in the comments. And the other is called Erasto Villar. The two of them are great, are fantastic, and I have never trained so well and so hard before. And yeah, so they are good professionals, and they are, I don't know what, so you have the basic grades, and then you have the technical grades, which are like the dance, okay, like, well, first dan, second dan, third dan of the black belts of karate. My sister, for example, she continued, and now she's third dan, but she also stopped because of the pandemic. But well, she's going back. She's going back. and well, somehow, well, I feel that I would have liked to continue karate in a good way or whatever, but sometimes I really appreciate that happened. Okay, I really appreciate that happened, because that made me change and discover Wing Chun and meet these beautiful people, these great people, and continue doing something practical, something useful, and I really like it. After all this period, I have been meeting also people practicing Krav Maga or other very practical martial arts, and I can combine that with the things I know. But you know, I'm not a good fighter. I mean, I can defend myself and I like it, but I don't know. Thank God I have never had to put that into practice, except for once, but I will leave that to another listening, okay? Well, the only thing I had to say is I really love martial art movies as well. I admire some actors and actresses, such as well, you know, the typical Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Jean-Claude Van Damme. I still love it. But there is one, Scott Adkins. Scott Adkins really caught my eye. Wow, Scott Adkins is one of the best, or one of the most artistic right now, and especially in the movie. I don't know the name of the movie in English. Okay, but he impersonated this character, this Russian character called Yuri Boyka, and wow, so it's simply amazing the way he moves and how he combines everything he knows from gymnastics and martial arts. So, and he's British. Okay, I also like the way he speaks, because he's British and he has this accent, but he's got a really good Russian accent for that role in that movie. So, well, I hope that you enjoyed the video. So please don't forget to subscribe, click on like and the bell. And well, I hope that you enjoy, answer the questions, leave your comments, and I will answer you as soon as possible with the right questions. And don't cheat on me, okay? So don't look at others' questions, at others' answers before you put your own answer, okay? So see you, bye bye, in the next video.